Hello, hello, hello. Spider-Man 2. Was it good or is it bad? I'm fucking with you. It was good. It was a good game. The overall problem is, I think, was the mechanic change. And when I say mechanic change, so the first one, and bear with me, it's a little off. It's off topic in a sense. Ugh. Bear with me when I say this. The mechanics have changed just a little bit. But that little bit kind of took away from the feel. While the first one was like a simulator, it's a Spider-Man simulator. I mean, every little nook and cranny was just covered by the way Spider-Man would feel, how he would do everything. To the fact that he was a gadget tech genius, it just felt like Spider-Man. Quick thing about now, before we get into the full details, please do understand, and I'll have it in the title, this will have spoilers. While this is still fresh on my mind and I have played the whole thing and platinumed it, there's a lot of pros and cons with this game. And outside of the comparisons to, like, Batman, I think I'll go ahead and just address the elephant in the room on some of the mechanics. So we'll look at it like this. Spider-Man 1 was fluid. Not saying this one still doesn't have fluidity to it. The only reason why I find it a little bit more stiff was in Spider-Man 1, it was all about stealth as Spider-Man, as Peter Parker. He wasn't this big, brooding, strong, like, rage monster. He was, and yes, I know that, Venom is going to contribute to that later, but you don't have to fight these warehouses full of criminals with brains at all. It is super easy to just bullet through them or cannonball straight through everybody. It's super easy in this one. In fact, I think that was one of the key problems. Now, I played this on normal. I don't play games on hard unless I'm playing the obvious ones that have no settings, which would be like Dark Souls. I'm not big on playing on hard because I'm a casual gamer. I go to work and come home, and I like to relax. Me playing Spider-Man on the hardest difficulty is not me relaxing. That makes me want to drink, and I don't need to be drinking that much. But the first Spider-Man was like peak, I think. This one, now you could definitely tell this is a PS5 game. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. But the first one you could definitely tell was a Spider-Man game on PS5. So I'm kind of rambling back and forth and juggling these little subjects because let me try to get on track with it. It's just there's so much to speak about. And I know there's 1,000 other videos probably doing it 1,000 times better than I am. But please excuse me while my ADHD brain tries to compress this a whole lot better for you. The beginning of this game starts off with a very good Sandman introduction. You see Miles and Peter Parker supposed to be settling into their lives as Miles should be the next Spider-Man. Well, he's still struggling a little bit. That's the beginning of it, where it opens up the character arc of, can Miles do this by himself? He asks for Peter Parker to help, which is supposed to be his teacher now. Which, ironically, he is his mentor and teacher as Spider-Man. So they go to fight Sandman. Sandman seems to be having some mental breakdown for whatever his reason is that we do not know of yet. And then we get introduced to the fighting in it. Now, as you can still dodge, the dodge function seems a little off. Now, maybe that's just me, but I did play the other two Spider-Man games 2 weeks before this came out. I like to do that when a game's coming out. I'll dial it over and I'll download it and start playing it just so the sequel will feel better. I did it for Modern Warfare 3. I downloaded it a few weeks ago and beat it 1 and 2 so I can get ready for 3 that comes out in just a few days. The thing about Spider-Man on this one, you learn it's a parry system, a block system. I didn't like it, and I definitely didn't like the abilities are gone. You are stuck with the Iron Spider arms. That's it. That's what you got. Now, it's hard to explain while it feels like it's dialed back, that it is it's a watered down version with a pretty new paint, like a new coat of paint. That's what it seems like to me. While it's still good because the first one was so good, this one couldn't fail, and it didn't fail. I just think they probably dialed it to 11 on some things and just, dialed it back quite a bit with others. The mechanics were more streamlined, where they're simplified to the extent that you get this Venom suit, which I don't think is a spoiler in any part yet, and you get abilities based off of Venom. Now, I'm going to say this took me longer than I care to admit to realize that your God of War-like superpower, where you click R3 and L3, would summon the Venom suit or anti-Venom suit at any point in time. Maybe even the Venom. I didn't change costume or didn't change his suit for a while. So I feel a little stupid on that. Not to mention the anti-Venom suit just looks badass. Which, by the way, spoiler. The overall thing I think about it is they kill off characters. That's a good strong point to me. Because Spider-Man himself shouldn't kill people. No, he shouldn't kill his enemies. But these villains, you can't just keep letting them, dick ride the franchise and not be taken out. I think that's a cop-out not to kill a few enemies in some way. And I think this game series does it really good. Now, the introduction to Venom, I think this one was really good. It was not a storyline that I'm familiar with in any capacity. The fact that Harry becomes Agent Venom for like a few minutes, for a good 30 minutes of the story, and you could tell how it affects, and you can even see the symbiote wanting to touch with Spider-Man. As soon as he gets the first touch, he already starts changing the suit to be more Spider-Man-esque. We've been through this rigmarole left and right. I don't know how many times we can swallow these loads. Peter Parker gets the Venom suit, becomes a complete jackass. That's easy to go with. That's not a story you can fuck up. I'm just glad we didn't get that iconic scene where Peter Parker was doing his dance and his yeah. Because that was cringy as fuck. So to continue on with the story, he does find out about a guy named Craven, which Sandman kind of warns him about. Now, if you do Sandman side quest, you kind of understand why he came at him and what's going on. So once you get the Venom suit, though, this is where shit kicks off. This is where it starts hitting the fan. This is the point of no return where Spider-Man 1 stealth is out the fucking window. Miles Morales was already an overpowered being. When I platinumed it on the Miles Morales DLC or standalone DLC, I didn't have to really be sneaky for shit. You can just go through and whoop some ass. I mean, he was handing out ass whoopings. There was no, oh man, I got to think of a way to do this. If it wasn't story based, I didn't care about the stealth. So that being said, once you get the Venom suit, it's fucking over with. All the strongholds, yeah, just go over there, whip your dick out and slap them. That's all you had to do. At this point, you're pretty much walking around with Thor's hammer and just slamming bitches. Now, yeah, it's a drastic over-exaggeration, but if you played it, you would understand. And I think that takes away from the whole Spider-Man thing. The only time I feel like Spider-Man is weaker than anything is definitely cutscenes. Like I said, I played on normal, so I had some difficulty where my health would get chunked away at, and I felt like I may have, like the dodge. It wasn't the block system; it was the dodge system. Seemed like it didn't function right, and I'm pretty sure some of it was misunderstandings on my part. So don't take this like a journalist where I'm thinking the game sucks because it sucks. No, the game doesn't suck. I just know I was sucking some of the times playing it. It's just it is what it is. You're not going to be perfect at a game, especially I'm not a professional gamer. I do it in my spare time, so yeah, I'm not going to be really fucking good at it. But the story kind of drops off from there. Once Venom is full Venom, so you'll get the suit, you'll be a dick, you finally take it off, and the spirit reminiscent of the bell tower scene. Miles Morales helps you with it, it finally breaks apart, and then it disappears, and Harry gets it back. You put it in a canister, and Harry will get it back. That's when it goes full-blown fucking horror franchise. The whole town is erupted in black jizz. Venom is going around just making more symbiotes left and right. And then, I think I got her name right, Scream makes a cameo for all of one boss battle, which I honestly did not like the rendition of this one. I did not like that it was MJ. It made no fucking sense. Other than the red hair, that's the only thing that made sense. Scream herself is, a super overpowered fucking symbiote. She has these supersonic abilities with her voice and stuff, and it's super fucking awesome. But then we get to the ending. I'm skipping some stuff around, but we get more towards the ending where, like, Lee gives the ability to make anti-venom because apparently the symbiote didn't fully discharge out of Peter Parker's body. So when he gets the symbiote again, he gets some of it, and it makes it grow in his body. And then Lee and Miles use their powers to produce anti-venom basically by using Mr. Negative abilities. It's canon in the actual other comics where that happened, but how this one, I don't, it still works. I liked it. Now, Harry, at the end of this, you beat the symbiotes, everything's done, you blow up the rock, blah blah blah. Harry's in a coma. So there you go. All caught up. Here's my problem with the end. The side quests. The end game, I did some of the side quests, but it felt like there wasn't a lot of them. The map, even though it was expanded, felt smaller. It feels smaller because the map, while bigger, your traversal system is way faster. Not a negative thing, but it is super fast with the wingsuit, the tunnels, and the fact that you can pretty much just fast travel wherever, and it's seamless, no loading screen. It makes the map seem super, super small. Well, it's not really a negative thing that it's so fast and quick to transition. I just made the map seem smaller is the only takeaway from that. So maybe it was because there's not as much to do. You have all these boxes you collect for for tokens, and those tech tokens, you don't have to do that. You can just do the game, and you pretty much, I mean, like I platinumed it in like 25 hours. It's not that hard. The missions. Here's the thing about the side missions. Each one of them has actually an iconic character disguised. And what I mean by that is, so there you have this flame cult. It's Cassidy the whole time. Now, I noticed it was a redheaded guy. Now, Cassidy's a redhead. Pretty much goes iconic with redheaded dude, becomes the red symbiote. It's the only way I've ever kind of kept that connection. But the weird part about it is, he's not... He's crazy, but he's not the same crazy, if that makes sense. While he's this flame cultist psychopath, he kind of reminds me of like Deacon, that dude from Batman. You know, he was a cultist. They really have the same kind of... It seemed about the same. Now, the side quest of using him, I thought was kind of dumb. Now, I'm going to try to do this as cringy as I can, because in Venom, Venom, the after credits scene, and this scene literally sounds about the same, where he just goes, I'm going to do this, and there'll be carnage. Like, I get that's his saying. It's kind of like Venom saying we are Venom is not going to be in the movie, or not be in the game, or not be in whatever, media it chooses to be in. But I hate that line where it's, there will be carnage. Cool. Yeah. Almost like you know what your character's name is. At least when it says we are Venom, he knows that's his name. Now, how he ever comes up with the name is beyond me, because it's always different in every iteration. But in this one in particular, I did not like Cassidy. I didn't like his... I liked his crazy... Like his the insanity that he protruded, but I don't think people remember. He's not a real strategist type guy. He's brute force psychopath. He's a strategist in this one. He had a plan. And if you know Cassidy very well, he's not really a plan. He's a man of grandeur. He's a fucking crazy person. He likes to just kill people. That's his whole point. In this one, he wants to build a cult that does kill. It's just, I don't know. Maybe, now I'm just speaking a little bit early. Maybe the sequel will answer a little bit this better. I hope they have a sequel or standalone. Something to have Carnage in it. I really can't wait to see that. And then you have Chameleon. Now, I think Chameleon's a good idea, but I hate that now that they don't have Kraven. Kraven's dead. He got eaten. He was the only person Venom ate in the whole game. They make... Now, I don't know if it was just a metaphorical thing, but they are brothers in this one. I think it would be cool to actually have Kraven, the Master Hunter, going against Chameleon, the Master Hider. Dude, that would be perfect. The best, predator and prey. I mean, Chameleon's always a couple steps ahead, plus he can fucking merge in, he can become anybody. And then you got, Kraven that's always like 1,000 steps ahead and brute forcing his way through. It's perfect. Of course, we're not going to get it. It was a side quest, and the main character's fucking dead. That's great. Thank you, Insomniac, for screwing that up. Don't think this is me shitting on the whole game. The game's still good. I enjoy it. I think anybody that hasn't played it should go get it. If this is you coming across the video and you were thinking, maybe I want to play it, get it, buy it. It's awesome. If this is anything to go by, and they keep the rated M for Wolverine, I'm a little bit on the fence of the story on the side missions. They seem that's their weakest point is side missions. The main story is always a theatrical, marvel. It's amazing every single time. The character designs changed a little bit. I think they were just bad crops, or they were bad screenshots because they're not horrible. They're not as bad as what all these screenshots made them out to be. Some of the other side missions is like some previous side missions from the previous game, and it's just like ending it. One old man passes away, which was the pigeon side quest from the first one. It was very sad. I remember doing it. I mean, because I was running for the platinum on the first one, and it was horrible. I'm not saying it was a bad mission. It was just horrible to see a character that you helped in the last one just pass away. But it was a good little touch because Spider-Man himself is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's not just all about these big Granger battles. I mean, he's supposed to also chat with the people, just the regular people. Miles Morales did it a lot better than what he did. But overall, I think this is still a good game. Side quests were a little less than desirable because it's more of a teaser to all the villains, and it wasn't cameo styled where it felt weak. It was the weak part of the whole thing. So yeah, I guess the takeaway from this is it's not a sneaky game. It's brute force the whole way. The abilities are super overpowered anyway. They're way more overpowered than the last one. So if you want to feel like Spider-Man, this is a story of Spider-Man, but it kind of feels a little less than Spider-Man. And I know that sounds stupid, and probably I'm going to have 1,000, or I say 1,000, probably won't get a whole lot, but I'll probably get a few comments, people just completely disagreeing and thinking I'm an idiot. And that's fine, and I understand. But, just know this is just my opinion. And if you don't agree with it, play it yourself, and you'll understand a little bit better on what I'm talking about. If not, hey, as long as the game's getting enjoyed and you're enjoying it, hey, that's all that matters to me. So I don't have much more to say about this. I hope this was as coherent as I could. It took me a few times to record this because I have ADHD. It's hard to keep focus in one straight line. So I had to re-record this a couple times while editing, realized that I jumped subjects too damn much. Not to mention it's a Marvel property. I can't get enough of sucking every Marvel property's dick. That being said, I hope y'all have a good one.